Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Adventure Seeker Sarah Show. A couple of hours ago, I went down to Fisherman's Cove, filmed a whole show for you, took you to all of my favorite places, and the internet won't cooperate, and I cannot upload it at all. So we're going to go on an impromptu adventure instead. And first, I'm going to show you what Lily is up to right now next to me, because if anything is an adventure, it's that. So my daughter Lily, who, to be fair, she's been in lots of horror movies. she's got a very fun sense of what is hilarious, and she came across a bulk package of tiny babies. Can you hand me the tiny babies?
Yeah, I'll hand you a tiny baby.
She came across a bulk package of tiny babies on the internet recently, and she decided what a wonderful thing it would be if I bought these tiny babies and just did weird things with them. That sounded way weirder than it should have. But, you know, she has all these plans for these babies. So right now, she is sitting with her grandmother and her sisters painting tiny babies.
Oh, let me show you one.
Now, my mother, being as weird as the rest of us, wanted a bunch of these tiny babies, 20 tiny babies for her Christmas tree. So these tiny babies are getting onesies so that they are appropriate for the Christmas tree.
And then we're going to hang them at their necks on silver thread. No, we're not.
So, oh, strangeness. But yes, so that's what's happening right now. Tiny babies for all. But we're also going to go on a bit of an adventure. I'm going to try to switch to my phone so that we can just run off on a random Nova Scotia adventure and see what happens. But first, tiny babies.
Tiny babies.
Oh, that's echoing. Hey. There we go.
Lily painting her tiny babies. So maybe that's why we like adventure so much around here, because, you know, just all about the weird. So I'm gonna just grab Josh from Hey Josh, What You Drinking, and I'm gonna grab Adam, and we're gonna get in the car and go do something interesting. Let's come with us. Figure out what. Let's go see. Come on, guys. Let's go. Time to get in the car.
Nana, it's your turn to paint tiny baby.
I'm also in the midst of trying this beer from Good Robot that is a Mexican lager with lime and jalapeno. So if you haven't tried that yet, you didn't like it?
No, it was gross.
I won't tell you who's saying that. So I like it. I like it very much. And Josh also liked it. So this is a good one to try if you were in the Halifax area. All right, off we go on an adventure.
Adventure.
I wish that I could go.
Okay. Do you want the battery back?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so before we get going, I'm just going to take you outside for a moment and show you one of the things that I like to do when I'm here and when I'm everywhere, to be honest, and that is looking closely. So if you've been watching my Facebook, you might have seen some of the photos that I've posted recently. What I like to do when I go outside, or go anywhere really, is just like look really closely at plants and insects. And my mom has a really nice big yard full of plants and lichens that I like to take photos of. But where the real magic happens, and where I haven't gotten to this trip yet, is the empty lot next door. Look at that. Look at all those plants. So that's a great place for me to get out and take photos. But we also did something else really cool there the other day. Dahlia came outside, and she was just outside playing for a bit. And she noticed that there was a little bird that looked like it maybe was hurt. She said it was hopping around. And so we looked it up. We looked it up on the local wildlife rescue site, Hope for Wildlife. And they basically said, well, no, it's probably just a fledgling. So don't go bird napping. Leave it alone. And so we checked to make sure it was okay. It was, hiding in a nice spot under a rock. So everything's fine. And then Dahlia, even though we left it and everything was fine, she decided to come back out a few minutes later and check on the bird. And this is a good lesson in, sometimes you might think something's okay, but it's never hurts to check back in, because that poor little bird had hopped its way all the way from down here out to the sidewalk. and there was a great big dog coming up from that direction, about to run right into that poor little bird. He hopped out and decided to just take a nap on the sidewalk. Clearly still learning what areas of this neighborhood are safe. And if it hadn't been for Dahlia coming to get me to tell me that, then it would have got chomped by a doggo. So we like sprinted in and picked up the bird with a towel and put it way back in the brush so that it wouldn't get eaten by the dog. So that was our fun bird rescue story. So we've got Josh here from Hey Josh, what you drinking? Maybe that's one of the things we'll find to do.
Hey, cool.
We might drink a thing.
I trailed in the car already. You want to?
Yeah, so let's do it.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so we're gonna drive, and I'm gonna find things on the side of the road and tell people to stop. How's that? Let's go. Hello, Omar. Thanks for tuning in. Nice to see you here. We're in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia right now. Well, actually, technically, we're in Eastern Passage, just outside of Dartmouth. Oh, it's music time. We just got in the car because our original pre-record video where we took you all around Fisherman's Cove didn't work. I mean, it did work, but the internet's kind of shoddy out here because we're a little bit in the middle of nowhere. So we're just going to go on a Nova Scotia adventure. Oh, I know where to go. Yes, we're going to go that way. I know where we're going.
That way.
Yep. Josh does too. He just doesn't know it.
Thank you.
It's a very fun place to back out of.
Come on. Come on.
I'm back. Hello. So
Buffalo Club?
we could go to the Buffalo Club, go drink with all the awesome old folks, but we're going further into Eastern Passage down Cow Bay Road. So I wish that it was not so rainy and foggy today, because then I could show you some of the beautiful sights down here. There are some great spots where you can stop and look out at the ocean, but we are going to go see a friend of mine down the road before we carry on. Now, I did say this in my pre-record video, but I think this is very important, so I'm going to say it live here too. If anyone watching has any small towns that they're really excited about, because I love Eastern Passage, and so that's why we, sort of tried to take you out on a tour earlier, and I'll pop that video up later so that you can see it as well. But if you have a small town that you get really excited about, someplace that you really love, that you think that I should go see, tell me about it in the comments. If it's in Canada, it's probably pretty easy for me to go to. We also go to the US a lot, and we bop around the rest of the world a little bit too. So no matter where it is, if you have a place that you are really excited about that you think I should see, let me know, and we'll see if we can make it there someday. So we're coming into Cow Bay now. And Josh, you're going to turn right up at this sign up here.
Right at the sign here.
Mm-hmm.
Turning right.
Down onto Cow Bay Road. Adventure time! Yay! So Adam, you've been in Dartmouth lots.
Yeah.
What has been your favorite Dartmouth adventure of all the times we've been here?
That's a very good question. Did we do a couple of months down in Dartmouth?
We did.
Remember?
Yeah, we did. So what Adam is talking about is at Halloween, we really like our haunt attractions. And down at Alderney Landing every year is the Blue Nose Ghosts haunt. And last year we went, and it was all like loosely Helen Creighton themed, based on all the collected stories from Helen Creighton. Yeah, it was pretty cool. They did a great job, and it's all like student volunteers and stuff, and they did a phenomenal job. We hit 3 different haunt attractions in Nova Scotia last year, all of which were fantastic. No, 4, because we did 2 in Cape Breton, all of which were awesome for their own reasons. So if you go on my YouTube, you can actually see like teasers from each place, and make sure to hit them up next year if you're in the area. Okay, so we're watching for my friend. I've been yakking, so right up at that big house, we're gonna turn right here in that parking lot.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're coming up to one of my weird little favorite things about the Dartmouth area. Very nostalgic for me. This is like a place that when we went on family drives, we would come and stop and visit. So let's go visit my friend. All right, so down here in Cow Bay, we have the Cow Bay Moose. So just for scale, this guy's big. Like I'm just up against his leg. I'm just barely coming up beyond his tummy. So the Cow Bay Moose, my good friend in Cow Bay, who we try to come visit every time we're here. He looks out. Well, he doesn't exactly look out. His butt faces the ocean, but you know, he's here by the ocean, and that's nice. And of course, we all know that I enjoy my interpretive panels. So all along the sides here, we have some history, some of the plants, and then also some of the shorebirds that you often spot down here. So that's pretty cool. But also, the other thing that you'll almost always see when you come down here, no matter what time of year it is, no matter what the temperature, no matter what the weather, there is almost always people out surfing. And it looks like it must be a good day for surfing because this is probably the most I've ever seen here. Despite it being, you know, quite windy, a lot of surfers out today. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so if you want to stick with me for a little extra time, I have one more place that I think we should hit up. We're gonna go for another drive.
Oh, are we?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
All right. So as we get back in the car, we're gonna go for one more adventure. So I'm going to give you a little preview of the video that's coming, so you can hear all about what you would have seen tonight if our video had uploaded properly. But I will upload it later. So we're going to go straight back the way we came. As a bit of a teaser, we went down to Fisherman's Cove. Now it's just a tiny little place in Eastern Passage. It's, you know, right down by the water, right next to the provincial park where there's a boardwalk that you can go on, which is lovely. But then also there are a ton of these beautiful little shops. So we went down and went to the Fisherman's Cove Museum. We went to the candy store and did some blind tasting of some saltwater taffy because that was on my Nova Scotia bucket list. We walked down to see where we purchased our lobsters for yesterday. So if you haven't seen the lobster video, you can go check that out. And then we also popped over into, you know, we saw a couple of little shops, but we also popped over to Boondocks to try some beer and also some seafood chowder because that was also on my Nova Scotia bucket list. So we checked a few things off just today. So that's pretty exciting. And I think we're going to do our best to hop down to one more. It's a little bit early, but we're gonna do that anyway. So there we go. So if it wasn't so foggy, you would see all kinds of beautiful, picturesque ocean vistas.
Stereotypical Nova Scotia days.
It is. Yeah, it's a foggy one. So you've been here now for a few days, Josh.
Yes.
What is your favorite thing? So, hey, where'd I go? Are we frozen? Can anybody hear us?
I hear you.
Oh, rural streaming. I swear, I even had like good service in the middle of the jungle in Costa Rica.
And I'm back. it's Sarah hide and seek. Anyways, as we were saying, Josh, you've been in Nova Scotia for a few days now, and you lived here before, but a long time
A
ago.
very
And,
long time
you know, and have spent time off and on in Nova Scotia. So far this trip, what has been your favorite thing about Nova Scotia?
So I really, really enjoyed the North Brewing Company.
Oh yeah, they're pretty awesome.
That was really good. I've always been a fan of Fisherman's Cove, the shops there. Used to, when my parents lived here, we would go to the little coffee shop there quite often. Yeah, it's just one of those like nostalgia trips that, like, on the other hand, it's like, no time for nostalgia. Let's get things going.
Yeah.
So I don't know, my all-time favorite thing. We used to do this. So when I was young, my parents lived here in the area. They moved around a lot, and I lived out west with my dad for most of the year. And when I would come here to stay in the summer, on July 1st, July 1st, that was a big party. But we would everybody we knew would get together in Point Pleasant Park and have a birthday party for everybody all at once.
Awesome.
So, and then usually there was fireworks in the evening.
That's pretty cool. That's a great Nova Scotia memory. Speaking of Point Pleasant Park, there's actually a free walking tour of Point Pleasant Park, free historic walking tour. It's an audio tour that you can download onto your phone, and we used it last summer, and it's really incredibly well done for a free audio tour. Like, pretty awesome.
My time here, if I have some downtime, I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah, definitely worth doing.
Also, I would really like to check out some of the museums and art galleries here if I have some downtime.
Well, speaking of, Josh, I swear this wasn't planned.
It wasn't.
You can actually get a very cheap pass for the Nova Scotia Museum Network, and it includes all of the museums. Well, not all of the museums. There are some that aren't a part of it, but there's like 90 museums throughout Nova Scotia that are all covered under this pass. Oh, cool. So that's a good one to have in your back pocket. All right, so we're going to go on a short little drive to...
You can't say?
Well, I don't know. I'm trying to decide if it's too far. Like, that's a long time to just talk at people. But I really like downtown Dartmouth, and I'd like to take people there. But maybe we should just aim for Fisherman's Cove. What do you think? I'm kind of hoping that by some chance the candy store is still open. Because
candy?
It's a really good candy store, okay?
Because
candy. So yeah, I think maybe let's here, actually, I think maybe let's just take a quick pop down to Fisherman's Cove because it's close by.
Oh, we're almost there.
Yeah, and at the very least, I can show the beauty of Fisherman's Cove and its quaint little colored houses. That makes me happy. So yes, that's what we'll do. You know, I'm not really sure. It's Friday night, but we also are in rural Nova Scotia, so I mean, no, it's not exactly, but it is a small town. If you go into Dartmouth, everything's open, but I don't know. Only one way to find out, but it's pretty either way. So there is a candy store down in Fisherman's Cove that every single time we come to Nova Scotia, that's something that we go with my mom to do with the kids. That she lets them go down and pick a bag of candy because they have like loose candies for, you know, a certain price per 100 grams. They also have a gigantic wall of saltwater taffy and a whole bunch of other cool little things. So we're gonna cross our fingers and hope they're open. But if not, there's still a couple of fun things to show you down at Fisherman's Cove. And we'll upload the whole video of Fisherman's Cove, you know, tomorrow or the next day as a bonus episode. Yay! Extra Sarah! Very excited. Although I was filming it all myself in like selfie mode for most of the time, so you also see a lot of my chin when I thought I'd flip the camera. I'm not even joking. So we tried the seafood chowder down at Boondocks earlier, which is just a bar that's down in Fisherman's Cove. They have a great menu of, you know, mostly seafood related dishes, a good bar menu, lots of local craft beers, but they also have a really good seafood chowder starter. What did you guys think of the seafood chowder. Like, you've all had seafood chowder before, right?
It was chock full of chunks of seafood.
It was so chunky. Like, it was, you couldn't get a spoonful without getting like
Oh, right down the last of it.
a nice big chunk of
variety of seafood.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was good. We should get donairs later.
That is a thing.
You can't come to Nova Scotia without getting donairs. Okay, so we're coming into Fisherman's Cove now, and it's already adorable, right? Like all of these little colored houses. It's just your, stereotypical picturesque fishing village. And it is, like, we got our lobsters here the other day.
Oh.
It's okay. Just keep going.
Moscow?
A little bit, but it's okay. We're gonna go down here, turn around and park over there. So let's watch out the window as we go here, because it's just so cute.
So cute.
So going here.
Oh, no.
That's a cute dog. I'm looking at like 3 different places to sell lobster just over here. I really wanted to be able to show you the beach, but there's so much fog that I can't even see it. So let's park up by the candy store and cross our fingers. I doubt that it's going to be open.
It's the yellow one, right?
Yeah, but at least I can show people where they can find it. Because we literally walked by it twice the first time earlier today. That was totally my fault. I've been there before. I should have known where to go.
I thought it was an ice cream shop when we walked past it.
Well, it is. It is also an ice cream shop. So. All right. Let's go for a little jaunt through Fisherman's Cove. All right. So sadly, I can already see that the candy shop is closed. But we did get to go there earlier, and you'll see it later. But I love, they've got all these signs with all of the different ice cream flavors all over Moon Mist. If you're from Nova Scotia, you'll know all about that. So this is pretty awesome. And inside is even better. So you'll have to just watch for our upload later and see the giant wall of candy. It's the saltwater taffy. It's amazing. We even had dill pickle taffy, which you wouldn't think would be great, but it is. So let's just do a quick little sweep down here. So there's Boondocks, where we had our seafood chowder. And then as you go along, you've got all of these beautiful little shops. It's like actually the perfect place to come for a photo shoot. That's on my list to do. But I'm going to show you, before we head out for today, I'm going to show you probably next to the candy store, maybe maybe my second favorite thing about Fisherman's Cove, and it is, you're going to be shocked, the interpretive panels. Adam's laughing at me from over there. I really like to have information about the places I'm at, okay? So they have these really cool interpretive panels that range, like they have some that are history, some that are the science around the area. It's really cool. So of course they have all of this great information. So this one is all about the tides and the tide pools, which is one of my favorite things to do here. But also they have these cool little wood carved panels along the top. So you get to combine like 2 of my favorite things, informational panels and public art. So that's pretty awesome. Right? More information. Now Josh is making fun of me too, but I like the panels. It is a very fun thing about this place. So I'm just gonna take one more little walk down to the water, because even though it's foggy, I still want you to see what you see when you stand on the boardwalk here at Fisherman's Cove. Now, another day when it's less foggy and rainy, it's not as rainy right now, it was pouring when I was down here before. On another day when it's a little bit less gross, I will make sure to come down here, maybe live stream so you can see what's up, and then also take a bunch of photos as I do. But before I do that, I'm going to show you everything. But I see lichens. Look, lichen. So I've definitely found one of the things that I'm going to take pictures of when I come here. Lots of awesome lichen. Someday we'll get through a whole 30-minute episode without me talking about lichens. Someday. Probably not. So here we go. There's Adam. What a backdrop of lovely, colorful little shops. And as we go along, we've got like the fishing area. You can see Capital Seafood over there. A nice foggy oceanscape that leads up to the Boondocks patio. So although it is a sleepy place right now because it's after 7 o'clock in Eastern Passage on a Friday, it is a beautiful place to come visit. And although we can't pop into the tide pools now, I really like doing that, and we'll come do that live at another point because you find all sorts of things like, you know, some sea plants. There's a tiny little crab, you know, and there's more and more and more of that as you go through the tide pools. So we'll make sure to pop down another day. But for now, we're going to go somewhere else in Halifax, Dartmouth, and find something that is open. And maybe when we get there, I'll go live from my Facebook page. So until then, or until next time, happy adventuring.